Hello everybody and welcome back to On Point HQ, and in this video an update on my bolt action French. Let's get into this. Hello everyone, if you saw my last bolt action update video, you will know that I'm currently revamping my early war French army for bolt action. Specifically what I'm doing is I'm replacing all of the metal infantry sections with these rather nice new plastic ones by Warlord Games. So if you saw that video, what you'll have seen is I've retained all of the support options, the vehicles, etc. I'm just planning to replace all of the infantry sections. So what I thought I'd do is show you what I've done so far. I've painted 5. These were more of a test than anything. The challenge for me is trying to make these fit colour wise with the rest of the army, because they were painted quite some time ago. So I thought I'd just show you what I've done and the colours that I've used. When I posted these up on a few forums, people were asking me, specifically what colours I'd used for the uniforms, the equipment, etc. So I thought it'd be quite helpful to show you exactly the paints that I've used while painting these 5. Also, in the second part of the video, there's a bit of kit bashing. Yes, I couldn't resist. I really couldn't resist when it comes to kit bashing, and I've been kit bashing a few additional teams and units, but we'll get onto that a little later on. So first, let's have a look at some painted figures. Like I said, I've painted 5. These are more of a test than anything, and this is the NCO. Why is he an NCO? Because he's pointing, and that's what NCOs do in bolt action. They point. These plastics are wonderful, really awesome kit by Warlord Games. Really crisp sculpts, they're nice and chunky. So many options on the sprue as well. You can build these as sort of 3 or 4 different types of unit, and they just go together really well. And there are marked improvements on the old metal infantry. So yeah, really enjoyed putting these together and painting them. So there we go. That's the NCO because he's pointing. These are, like I said, these were really enjoyable to work on. Okay, so this chap here, so he's got the VB launcher. Nice addition to the plastic box, the VB launcher. All the equipment as well. There we go. Just really nice to paint. And I'm not sure whether the colours are 100% historically accurate, but I'll get into the colours a little later on. So that is a VB launcher. Next up we have an LMG gunner. I think this is called a Chateau. I'm probably butchering the French language there, so if I've pronounced it wrong, please forgive me. But yeah, really easy to assemble. Parts were clearly labelled in the instructions. They were just a dream to put together. I did enjoy building them. And like I said, loads of options on the sprue, loads of options. I just painted or built these as standard infantry, but there are options on there to build all kinds. Okay, here's where I made my first mistake. So he's the loader. Unfortunately, loaders don't carry rifles; they carry either an SMG or a pistol. I'm going to say that he misplaced one of them and he's taken a rifle instead. Because I should have known. I've built French sections before and I know that the loader doesn't have a rifle, but that is the loader, so he goes with the LMG, and then just a bog standard rifleman here. Again, just so nice to paint, quite simple as well. So they are the first 5 that I've completed. Right, so what I'm going to do now is move on to the next section of the video, which is the colours I use to paint these figures. So I shall see you in a little bit. So what colours did I use to paint these chaps? Not very many, if I'm being completely honest. They're predominantly sort of 2 main colours with a few other colours thrown in. But like I said in the previous section, a lot of people were asking me precisely what paints I'd used to paint these, so I thought it'd be quite helpful to show you. So we're going to look at this chap first. This is the NCO again. As you can see, he's predominantly one colour. So we've got his greatcoat, his trousers, his puttees, etc. And so that's the first colour that I used. And for this, I used this. This is Vallejo green brown. It looks quite bright when it goes on, but this is the original colour I used many years ago when painting my French initially. Like I say, it is quite bright, but it's going to get a wash. So I applied this to, like I say, the greatcoat, the puttees, and his trousers. Okay, so once that was on, up next was the greens. So I used bronze green on the helmet and the main pack and the water bottle. It's a really nice colour, bronze green. It's quite dark, but it goes really well when it's washed. So that was so bronze green on the helmet, the main pack there, and also the water bottle. For any additional packs, I used Vallejo khaki. As you can see, he's got an additional pack there, and I used Vallejo khaki on there as well. Now we also use this as well when it comes to highlighting the model. For the webbing, so the ammunition pouches and the straps, etc., I used Vallejo saddle brown. It has a look of leather about it. Well, I say saddle brown, and I think it contrasts really well against the green brown and the green of the rest of the figure. So I used that on, say, the webbing, any ammunition pouches, and also the straps on his rucksack. And lastly, for me, I always use beige brown when it comes to painting weapons. Any wood is beige brown with a nice brown wash, but I'm pretty sure people use other colours. This is what I use, beige brown. So once those colours are applied, what I then do is mix up a sort of 50-50 wash of black and sepia. Now I use Vallejo washes, just combine them, and then rather than splatter it across the entire model, what I do is I drop it into all the folds and the recesses, and this creates some natural sort of shadow, as you can see in the creases of the clothes. And then I use the same one just on the rest of the equipment. Again, not splattering it all over, just dropping it into the recesses so you get that dark contrast. Okay, and then once that's dry, it's just going in with the highlights. So what I like to do is always add khaki to any main colour that I'm painting. So for the greatcoat, etc., was green brown with just a small blob of khaki. And then as you can see, what I do is I work it over the uppermost raised areas. There's lots of creases on these figures, which is great for highlighting. Same with the bronze green. I added a slight dab of Vallejo khaki, and then for the sort of the uppermost highlights, I'm not sure you can really see them on here, I had a very small blob of yellow as well. And then again with the browns, so with the saddle brown and the beige brown, bit of khaki, just apply these to the highlight, to the raised areas to get your highlights. Really, I'd say really simple, quite quick as well. I think I've painted these over a couple of nights, so it's good that I can fly through them because I've got 30 of them to paint. But that's how I paint them. Again, additional details. So I use on the strap on the helmet, I use saddle brown and khaki for the strap on the rifle. But that's it. That's how I paint my French infantry. Like I say, really simple. Not many paints used, and I'm looking forward to completing the rest of these, the other 25 that I've got to paint to fully complete this project. Right, so that's painting out the way. Now I did mention earlier, kit bashing. Yes, I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist chopping these up and adding bits to them. So let's move on to the kit bashing. Now in the previous video I did mention that the only troops I was replacing were the main infantry, three sections of 10, and that would be that. All the support options and the teams, etc., and the HQ options were going to be retained as metal. But then I just couldn't stop. So I've replaced 2 of the metal HQ units with kit bash plastics, and I thought, rather than just show you them fully painted, to show you in the grey plastic and outline exactly the bits and pieces that I've used to make these. Some are quite simple, some are quite involved. Let's start off with the simple. So one of the HQ options that comes as a metal figure is the medic. I thought that'd be quite easy to replace or to kit bash. So here we have my kit bash medic. Really very simple to do this. All I did was got the two arms from the plastic US infantry box by Warlord Games. One holding, it looks like a medical pouch, and just one generic resting arm. Applied them, and there we go. We got a medic. it's just so simple. Very little time spent on this. I spent more time sourcing the parts and working out what I was going to do. But as soon as I saw these in the plastic US infantry box, I knew I was going to use them, and I thought, yeah, dead easy. The only thing I had to do was he's got like a lapel thing, not a lapel, like a shoulder board thing on his greatcoat. Just snip that off, and the arm fits comfortably in. And you wouldn't have seen it anyway because the strap is covering it. But yeah, a couple of minutes, and I've got a plastic medic. Very happy with that. So there we go. One thing sorted. Now another option you get is the forward observation team. So I did have a metal version of this, and it looks like this. Apologies for only half a base. Reasons will become clear why he's only got half a base in a second. So it's a nice pose. You know, he's resting his rifle and he's talking on a handset into a radio. So I wanted to try and replicate this somewhat with my plastic version, and so I made this chap here. As you can see, the radio there has been taken off the old base and added to this one. Now the majority of this figure is from the French kit. So the arm, the left arm, the head, body, all the equipment. It was the right arm that was slightly problematic, and one that I thought, how am I going to do this? I wanted him to be holding some sort of handset for the radio, and I went through loads and loads of different options. But in the end, the one that worked was combining bits again from the actual plastic French set, and more from the US infantry box. Now originally this hand was holding a shotgun, and it's posed so it looks like it's resting on someone's shoulder. So I cut away the shotgun and removed the hand, and what I've tried to do, I might need a little bit more work on this, is just carve or craft the remaining bit into a sort of radio handset like he's talking into it, and I think it's worked quite well. Now the right arm is from the French kit itself. It was originally holding a cigarette, but I like the angle of the arm. It worked quite well with what I wanted to do with it. So snipped the hand off and added that hand. Need to do a little bit of tidy up with some green stuff with the join, but that's it. It's done. Again, really unique individual figure. Very little time, and I've got a forward observation officer. Now he needed an assistant. And again, I went to the plastics. Now, again, majority of this is from the French kit. So the left arm is from the French kit, the body, the head, etc. Again, it was the right arm that was going to be the issue that needed to be replaced or built. And I had to think slightly outside the box for this one. One good thing is the US infantry. There's a button on the arm, and it's very similar to the one on the actual French kit. So from a distance, it's going to look like it's from that kit. So this arm here was actually from the British Airborne kit, and again, it's got a button on there as well. Originally, it was holding a Sten gun. So what I did, I just cut away all of the Sten gun, all of that, and removed the hand. Again, I like the angle. I thought it was going to work really well. Now the binoculars are actually from the plastic USMC kit. And originally it was on an arm with a short sleeve, but I really like the way it was holding the binoculars. So again, cut away the hand and just file it down, and it fits quite well. It was a complete accident the way that ended up being posed. I initially wanted him to be looking through the binoculars, but the way it's come out is angled slightly down, so it looks like he's talking to this chap here. So once he's painted, I'm going to glue him onto that base. Got a nice little diorama of a forward observation team, like so. And again, he's sort of resting the binoculars, and he's having a chat with a guy who's on the radio. Very, very simple. But again, unique miniatures, and I'm all about that. I'm all about having the unique miniatures when it comes to kit bashing. So that's the end of the update. So I've got 5 done already, another 25 to paint. I'm going to paint these guys as well. I'm also looking at kit bashing a few other bits and pieces. Not really made much headway on that yet, but the ideas will be there. So I'm going to mention those in the next update video. Well, I hope you find that useful. If you've got any comments about this project or bolt action or wargaming in general, just pop them down below and I'll certainly respond to all comments and questions. But as always, thanks for watching. Do take care. May your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So bye bye for now.